Hi friends, what's up? I'm back and I have the featured guest of my video today, which is my veiled chameleon, Herman Pascal Fussy Pants. As you can see, he is actually letting me hold him today, which is very nice. I'm happy. And he hasn't bitten me yet. I'm definitely going to keep track of the number of times he bites me during this video. Hopefully it's 0. I got Herman after he had been surrendered to a pet store, so I don't know who his previous owner was. I don't know how old he is. I don't know really anything about him, if he's wild caught, if he was bred in captivity, anything like that. If you're given the option, buy something that's been captive bred. Sometimes, like a lot of the time with saltwater fish, they can be more expensive, but know that you're going to get a healthier animal and it's a lot less damaging to the environment. Herman is a veiled chameleon, and there are, I don't even know how many species of chameleons. There are a lot. They are definitely the most common in the pet hobby. A common misconception about chameleons is that they change color depending on their environment. And that's not true. Chameleons change color depending on their mood and kind of like how threatened they feel. So when Herman is scared or anything like that, he's bright green. So to other animals, he looks like he might be venomous. If you look at poison dart frogs, they're the bright colors. You don't want to eat them. Other animals know, I don't want to eat these or I'll get sick and probably die. Chameleons, though they are not venomous, do that same sort of thing with their coloration for the same effect. When he's calm, he is brown, green, really kind of boring, nothing special. You can tell he's a male because he has a large... Oh, it's okay, bud. Sorry. I moved too fast and spooked him. You can tell he's a male because on the top of his head he has this large casque, is what it's called. With female veiled chameleons, they are much smaller. They use those in the wild and in their habitat, which I will show you his, to catch water on top of it, and the droplets run down their forehead and into their mouths. Chameleons need a lot of climbing space up and down. That's how you create their heat gradient as well. They don't really need much side-to-side space, so the taller the enclosure you can get, the better. They do have very long tongues they shoot out and catch their prey with, which are usually, I feed him crickets, but they can eat moths, worms, caterpillars, pretty much anything. And it's really impressive because you kind of watch him and he's hunting and then he sees his prey and locks on, he goes bleh, and then he gets it and brings it back, and it's really cool. Now you can see the cool patterning he has. Each chameleon that is different on them. I am holding him with my right hand and trying to film with my left hand, so sorry if this is a little shaky. You can see the casque on his head a lot better now. If I can get him to face forward. There we go. You can... Oh, do you want to come over here? Nope? Okay. You can see how it works to get the water to drop onto his head. Are you afraid of the camera? These spikes he has along his back, you can see here. Oh, sorry, bud. He gets startled very easily. They're slow moving, so when something moves fast, it's not too cool. But the spikes on his back are hard. The ones on his chin, however, are just for show. They're really soft and floppy, and they make him look more intimidating, but he really isn't all that scary. You can watch him up here how his eye moves, and he has such a wide range of vision. Like, it's crazy. I wish that our eyes were like that. I can guarantee that if I had him the other way, he's not gonna let me turn him. But if I had him the other way, you'd see that his other eye is moving completely separate from this one. If you look at his foot right there, oh, he's trying to climb on the camera. Don't do that, bud. You can see his feet are kind of like little hands, little pinchers. Ah. Herman, no. He's trying to climb on the camera, so we're having some technical difficulties. There we go. I've got him a little bit further away from the camera, so he's going to stop trying to climb onto it. But as I was saying, his hands, you can kind of see, are like pinchers, and they grab onto my fingers, or in his cage or in the wild, they grab onto tree branches, vines, that sort of thing. And they're really neat. Over here is Herman's cage. As you can see, it is a lot taller than my other ones. Also, say hi to Copeland. Thought we could start from the top down, going over things. Over here, this is the Big Dripper. Zoom Ed makes it. I think it is absolutely phenomenal. Chameleons need a lot of humidity and moisture, so instead of having to worry about spraying him constantly with a little water bottle mister, I have this set up and it slowly drips into his cage and keeps things nice and humidified. Over here are his lights. They're also by Zoom Ed. I think, yeah, with the exception of some of the vines in there and the wood, everything in here is made by Zoom Ed. I really like their stuff. I'm not sponsored by them, I'm just being honest. I think they make good quality stuff. He has a UVB bulb because he needs the vitamin D from it that he can't get from just regular old light, so it's a special bulb for that. I do take him outside sometimes when it's warm enough, but for the most part, he just kind of hangs out in here and gets the vitamin D he needs from that. The other bulb in there is a heat bulb because he does need heat. I keep it pretty toasty in there so that he is nice and comfortable. To keep track of the heat, I have this little thermometer in here. This is the probe over here, and the actual readout comes over here. So right now it's about 80 degrees in there, which he is more than happy with. He's nice and warm. Now we can see Herman in his quote-unquote natural habitat. He's just kind of hanging out. That's his favorite spot, or sometimes he'll be up at the top of that, just kind of basking. But I have a nice amount of stuff for him to climb on so you can get that heat gradient. If you look down here, it's kind of hard to see, but I have some coconut bark and some sphagnum moss, and that just helps with absorbing the water from the dripper, because when I first got set up, I didn't have that in there and kind of flooded my entire dresser. It was not fun. So now I have all that, and it helps catch the liquid, retain humidity, and it's really helpful. For anyone that's considering getting Chameleon, there are a few things that you have to be aware of. One, they don't enjoy being handled. That's just part of being a chameleon. They're very secretive, they like to blend in, they're very slow moving, they don't have a whole lot of defenses. So being handled is pretty stressful for a lot of them. If you get one as a baby, you can handle it a lot and get more used to it. Herman, like I've said, I don't know anything about his background before I had him, but it used to be that I would so much have to walk in front of his cage and he would start hissing at me, get all puffed up, turn his bright colors, and I've had to spend a lot of time working with him to make it so I can even hold him like I just was for the beginning of this video. Well, that was awkward. I was sitting here filming for a good minute or two and realized my camera battery had died. So let's try that again. Number 2. Chameleons do have higher requirements than most other lizards. When you have a bearded dragon or a leopard gecko, fat-tailed gecko, those kind of things, there aren't really a whole lot you have to do for them other than provide some heat source and give them food and water. With Herman, I have to have a heat source. I also have to have a UVB bulb for him. I have to make sure the humidity is right. I have to make sure he has plenty of room to climb around, all that kind of stuff. So they are a little trickier than a lot of beginner reptiles, and so a lot of people don't recommend them for beginners. I think that as long as you've done your research and you feel confident, then you should go for it. With all that being said, Herman is without a doubt one of the coolest animals I've ever owned, and I don't regret buying him at all. He's just so interesting. Like, I can sit on my bed and just watch him for good sized chunks of time and be fascinated by him. He's just very unique and he has his own personality. And I think that if you're okay with having a pet that might not want to interact with you as much as it wants to interact with its environment, then Chameleon is totally the right choice for you. I hope you enjoyed this week's video. I will have, as usual, the links to all of my social media down in the description. I really appreciate you guys watching, as always. If you have any questions, comments, anything like that, leave them below. I will interact with you, don't worry. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. If you like me, you should subscribe to me. See you next time, friends. Bye!